it's in me, it's within me, I mean, and you need to believe and trust what that is, and as well too that we all have so much in common with each other. I feel like with music I've had the opportunity to one day be in a penthouse somewhere and the next day I'm in the ghetto somewhere, and I just see people. I don't see things, I see energy.
Welcome to the Style and Vibes podcast with me, Michaela. I'll be giving you the inside scoop on music, fashion, culture, and more from Caribbean celebrities and tastemakers across the globe, pushing our culture with authenticity and, of course, style and vibes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Style and Vibes podcast with yours truly, Michaela. If you are new here, welcome to the family. If you are returning, welcome back, family. Today we have our first soca artist on the podcast. we have none other than Kes. I don't think you need an introduction, in my opinion, because I know my followers are gonna know exactly who you are. But I need to start somewhere. And I need to start with, okay, break it down, please. The name of the band is Kes the Band.
Mm-hmm.
Your name is Keys.
Well,
How did that transition? Is it
good
because we
question.
just keep messing up your name in the media, and
Partly.
that's how you adopted the name?
Partly. I think it was a lifelong curse. I mean, my actual name is KWS, so it's a Dutch name.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pronounced case. But
Keys.
in English speaking Trinidad, they call me Kes, and I knew myself as Kes from since I was a kid. How the name of the band really came about was kind of roundabout. We were part of another group called Image and Company, me and my brothers, and we decided to sort of form our own vibe again. And my brother was like, we didn't want to start a whole new name. People know who you are, so let's just name the band KS, Kes. And we were like, fine, cool. But in our culture, when we do shows, we do parties, sometimes you perform with your DJ, sometimes you perform with your band. So fans were like, well, who's playing on the show? Is it Kes or Kes and the band? You know what I mean? Is it Kes or Kes the band? And then it became Kes the band because the fans were calling us Kes the band all the time. It's like, nah, Kes the band is playing. Oh, okay, cool. And it's a different experience, I guess, from doing tracks on a solo show, and then as well to, the band now has become such a big part of the act. Like for us to play live and spread that live vibes. So Cestivan was a result of all of that. All of that.
So it's kind of like the reverse of Sade, because I feel like people just really realize that the name of the band is Sade,
Yes,
not
similar.
not just the front woman singing. So
Yeah,
I see it on social. They're like, nobody knew
yeah,
that was
yeah,
the name
yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah,
band.
yeah.
But that's super cool. So you're gearing up to release this new project. Tell me about the space that you were in to really create it. And I want to talk about the name, but it's 16 tracks, some of which the public has probably heard. We've been jamming to it for a while now. So tell me about the going into the creation of this project.
Yeah, but going to this, I really wanted to, in this new phase, I feel, I felt like after kind of, lockdowns kind of closed a chapter in my life creatively, and I felt like I was stepping into a next realm. And I really
Mhm.
wanted to create a body of work that sort of represented where I was at. So, I mean, I'll go into it. Man No Door is a free creative space, for me. It just represents not having boundaries, and I actually met a guy with no door, and and he, he's always had interesting people coming into his home, and he was always fearless. So I felt that way creatively, and so I decided to name it that and explore all the rhythms and sounds that I feel inspired by growing up and in life. So of course you're gonna get that sweet soca, but then even the soca that we have on it has its own sort of twist. Like songs like Tack Back is like that. I was trying to kind of capture a 90s calypso feel. Um, Miracle is a power soca, but yeah, it's like a romantic song as well.
Mhm.
So, but other than the soca aspects, you're gonna get a touch of dancehall, a touch of Afrobeat. There's some reggae in there. And then there's some other mixes there as well. So it's really a free space, and if you love all types of music, especially music you can dance to, then you're gonna love this album. You know,
What would the man with no door Kes say to the young teenage Kes?
keep dreaming because all your dreams gonna come true. Every single one that you dream are gonna come true. So don't have a limit as well. Dream as big as you want to dream, and stay the course. You know, I feel like I'm proud of my younger self for taking leaps and bounds without even having any guarantee of success. And I felt like that bravery led me to this point. A lot of the things that I've thought of, dreamt of, has come to pass already. So I probably needed to dream a little more. So keep dreaming.
Yeah, I hear that. So in terms of being in a band with your brothers and close like friends growing up, like what how did you guys initially really come together? And who's the younger? Like who where do you fit in the order of brothers?
I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
And we started off in South Trinidad and Palmis. In those days, you know, in Trinidad, of course, Calypso is huge. Calypso is king. Soca was king. But, you know, you had, in the 80s especially, dub and dancehall was now coming into the fray, but rock music was huge, you know. So 80s rock in Trinidad was huge. And my biggest brother actually is the ringleader, is the one who really got us into music. I mean, I always used to sing, but when it came to band life and understanding band stuff, you know, it's really my brother, Hans, the oldest, the drummer. He used to go by his friend and watch MTV, you know, and they were the only ones with a dish. And, you know, you'd see these bands, and it was a particular band called Van Halen. And Van Halen having a kind of German name, but yet brothers, you know, he had this
Mm-hmm.
bright idea of like, yo, I'm going to take my brothers and my friends and like form this band. And he called the band Lads, Lads. And it was like the first letters of their last names, you know,
Yeah.
and we, you know, we that summer, I remember my brother built a drum kit out of buckets and PVC. And you know, my other brother had a guitar with the pickup was a nail, and we tried to build a stage. And my dad eventually felt sorry for us, but was very intrigued and bought a secondhand kit and bought some secondhand equipment, and then got somebody to help us build a stage in our backyard. And we did a concert for our friends, you know, but it was rock music. It was like my first song was a punk rock song, you know. You know, and
Wait, walk me through the outfit that you had on for that performance.
you know, I still remember I had a shirt and had like a little sleeveless inside with like three stripes. And still red, gold, and green, you know, still a vibes going on, you know. But we were young, you know, I was 7 years old, my other brother was 11. We were kids, you know, and I think it was just cool for us to feel what it was to rehearse and have a concert. And I don't think we've ever left that space. I think from that kind of sparked a fire that just continue to grow all through school, all you know, all to now, you know. So
That's great. It seems like you guys have a great creative synergy amongst the all of you because I saw you perform a couple years ago now because this is pre-COVID. I think it was Tuesday on the Rocks in Manhattan. I can't remember the name of the location, but it was like this cozy venue. But the sound was just really. I'm like I think I admitted to my followers like I think I'm a sound snob when it comes to like bands and where and the location and how it sounds. And you guys really put a lot into the show. So when you talk about that rock influence, I can hear it in your live shows. So I
yeah,
think that that is super intentional that you like what you guys do so naturally, and it really led into even some of your catalog. You guys have such a great catalog. Talk to me about that, like being able to have this catalog of music that people really resonate with. It must make it really hard to choose your song set when
yeah,
you're
you're right.
performing.
I think at this time it is because yeah, we do have a lot, and I give thanks for that because there was a time when we had to play a lot of covers, you know, and we had to do that and stick our songs in between the covers to try and promote it and stuff like that. But now, you know, I really do have to pick and choose. There's some songs that are staples and classics, and some people, you know, want to hear particular songs that we can't all fit it in the set, so we're on stage for like hours, But at the end of the day, it's a problem to have, It's a great problem to have, and I feel like I try to stay true to the process, and I feel staying true to the process and finding my truth in my creations every single time, I think it never fails. When I believe in it, when I love what it is, I think it resonates with someone. That's my take on it. I don't know how big it will be. I don't know how, that's up to the people and up to people. But if I know it tastes good, I'm gonna put it on a plate
You're
and
gonna
give it to you to
perform it
eat.
the best of your ability. Yeah, you're gonna give it your
Exactly.
all and leave it on the stage. I
Yes.
think that
Yes.
that's truly
Yes.
amazing. You
Yeah.
have a lot of, so the album Man with No Door has a lot of collabs and a lot of different sounds. How did you guys kind of collectively decide who you wanted to work with? You have Michael Brun, you have Busy Signal, you have, oh, now I'm drawing a blank. Hold on, I gotta pull it up. But you know all of the people that's
Yes.
on there.
Yes.
It's not
Yes.
a lot, but it's like a tight-knit group of. So how did you come to that selection process?
It's all natural. I like to do collabs naturally. I like to, really link with people and not just do something out of convenience or opportunity or anything like that. So, every collab is a collab that was, thought about, and people who just fit, and I felt like, we've with Shaggy, with Mood, I was a track that was just amazing. I felt like, he called me actually on the track and had the idea. And, I felt like everyone that we've worked with, we have a similar, I guess, goal and dream within our own lanes. And that was the common thread. And I feel like that spoke with the music, like Busy Signal. He's just a natural at bridging his dancehall with other music. And I think he does it so well and seamlessly and honestly. And Queen Omega, that was a great collab, and just an easy process. Each process was pretty easy, and of course Michael Brun, Hayati, Jay Perry, Ota Hayati, and this is the reason why I do it. This is like the fire, to really be the bridge and expand the sound and reach of the music.
And talk to me about the videos. Now, Banga, I think it really portrays you in a completely different light. It's so funny. You're playing multiple characters. Like, tell me about how that video came about.
Yeah, I love doing visuals. Like every visual you see, I definitely had a part in like creating the concept and really wanting to put forward or something, because I feel like um the visuals is just another aspect of like expression of the idea, and Banga, the song came about of us really talking about the days when we were awkward teens and we had, you have that crush and you have that person. I miss you from the time you went away, not knowing what to say, the awkwardness. And we said, you know what, let's just do something in ode to how we grew up, So we had that kind of house line that we were accustomed to in the Caribbean. And, that birthday party that just spent a month trying to get ready for. And just had an opportunity to play all these roles. I was like, yo, I'm gonna play all these roles. I actually was kind of mimicking my dad in one of the shots, you know what I mean? So I had a great time. I think visuals and doing all of those things just make it worthwhile for me. And I was up for the challenge of like becoming different characters, and like it was something different,
Yeah. And even in Liki Tiki, I think the consensual movement is just everybody's kind of like just grooving in it.
That's
And
it.
you have some nice cameos. Mika Ben, rest in
Yes.
peace, is in
Yes.
there. And tell me about even that one, because it seemed like a nice fun, but I feel like videos don't get the credit that it, like the attention that it
I think
used to,
so.
because
I think
MTV,
so.
BET, all of these, it's condensed to a screen. So the only time you really get to enjoy it is if like you're sitting down or you're watching it through like YouTube. It's one of those things I wish would come back, but I'm also part of the same era that you are, so I have
Yeah.
different connection to it. But you did have, some really great energy there. So tell me about that video as well.
Yeah, Liki Tiki was a great vibe. I think it just kind of like stemmed off of the vibe that I had with Michael Brune and Jay Perry in the studio, and Liki Tiki is even the phrase Liki Tiki is just me kind of mimicking our iron. We have something where we beat a bottle and spoon, or we beat an iron, Liki Tiki, Liki Tiki, Liki Tiki, and it was me trying to explain the Calypso beat to Michael. And he was like, yo, this is a hook. I love that. I should be in this song. And I was like, oh, for real? Yeah, man. Liki Tiki, cool. And so, we wanted the video to feel in that way. That kind of, again, that kind of sort of classic. It had a classic kind of dancehall vibe to it, but yet it was like one Caribbean. So all the flags and, as you said, the cameos from people from different places. Rest in peace, Mika Ben. That was actually the first time I met him. And it was a great experience. The entire cast, and big up to Maya. She's a young, amazing director, up and coming. She did a few videos for me, actually. She did Mood, she did Liki Tiki, and she did Jolene for me as well. And so I've had fun working with her and her crew, because they're open to my crazy ideas, you know what I mean? They're open to when I say, hey, I want to do this and that, and they're like, yeah, let's do that, because, and so it's always fun. It's always fun. They're great to work with.
And in terms of, we kind of touched on it slightly, but, Mika Ben, he was such a pillar in the Haitian music community. We recently lost Ricardo Drew. What does that losing artists and camaraderie, they're almost like family co-workers in a way in the industry. When that happens within the industry, like what is your thought process, and how does that impact you as an artist, as a person? It's just like, these are people you used to see on shows, and and now there's like this empty space there. Walk me through that for you as an artist.
Well, I mean, I guess for me, simply put, I feel like you live each day like it's your last. You move with intention, because it's you never know when it's your time. And I always feel like that this moment right here is the sum of all your moments. Like everything I've experienced is right here, right now with me. And I just feel like we need to hold that into the forefront, and live like that, because I feel like, again, if it's one thing we all have in common, is that we were all walking towards the same thing. But it leaves, what are we doing while we're here, and I think we just need to be impactful and make sure that we are living from our true self every time. So
do you think
it's surreal sometimes, to be honest, to think about the people that especially. I've lost a few close people within the last few years, and I let them live with me. Whatever piece of them they shared with me, they live with me. If something comes up and I know I would have probably asked them, they themselves and me comes up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I celebrate them in that way.
Do you think a lot about legacy and your legacy as a contributing to soca music?
I
And
sure
music
do.
as a whole?
I think so. I mean, I personally feel like I'm in motion, so I don't really think about like, well, what would be my legacy? Because I don't know what would be my legacy in the end of the day. All I know is that I feel something, and I follow that. I follow what that is, and I've been following it, that feather, that soul, whatever it is, for all this time, and it's led me here. So it's leading me to something. So I'm just going, I'm going with faith.
In terms of the creative process, do you like performing, writing, being in the studio? What is your preference? If you have
I love performing. I have to say, performing sort of stimulates the other things. Doing that sort of exchange between you and the person loving the music is what it's about. So, because before we could even record anything, before we could even tape anything, it was about that. It was about that exchange, and I think that's not changed. I feel like that's such a powerful. Much as we could speak over the internet and our devices, that's just the idea of a conversation. It's not really an exchange. I feel like all the energy, all the things that are exchanged is unsaid. And I feel like I feel that energy when I perform live. So I have to give live the number one on that.
I like that. I like that. What lessons have you learned being in the music business as long as you
Um,
have?
that's a good question. A few things. Uh, Definitely, a dream requires commitment. You have to choose it every day. You have to choose your path every single day. And if you choose one path one day and one path the next day, you're putting two different things into motion. You need to choose if you
Mhm.
want this to happen or you really need this to happen. You have to choose that every single day and go for it. Um, Two, sometimes everything you need is right there in front of you. I always love the book The Alchemist. I mean, for those who didn't read it, it's really about going on a full journey and a full walkabout to end up right back where you're at and understand that everything you had was right there. And I feel like I've done that a few times in my life where I went walkabout and I came back and I'm like, you know what, it's in me, it's within me, I mean, and you need to believe and trust what that is. And as well too, that we all have so much in common with each other. I feel like with music I've had the opportunity to one day be in a penthouse somewhere and the next day I'm in the ghetto somewhere, and I just see people. I don't see things, I see energy. And I
Mhm.
realized that, I mean, as things rightfully said, we are spirits in a material world. Like most of all, we are spirits walking around, and that's your riches, and that's what it is. And it doesn't matter what you have, and music gave me that opportunity to walk through walls, to not have a door.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I love it. Okay. One fun question for you. You're throwing a dinner party for your closest friends and family. What's
Right.
on your playlist?
Playlist, dinner. Good question. Um, I would love a little classic because we're in a festive mood too, Some classic
Mhm.
calypso, I could definitely, and I don't mind going deeper into the crates, even 50s and 60s. Definitely some classic reggae. I love my Dennis Brown and my little Bob Marley and stuff like that. As well, I would play past the chord. What you want to hear, because I definitely like to hear new music and things that I want to
Mhm.
be interested in. You know what I mean? So that's in a
The fact
nutshell.
that you would actually share and let other people pick
Yeah,
says a
yeah,
lot
I do.
about you.
Yeah, I
A
want
lot
to
of people are
learn.
like, no, 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 don't touch my music. Don't touch my music.
I want
I
to have
am
a new
I am
favorite
those
song.
people.
Yeah, I want to have a new favorite song. Give me something like
You
that.
want to have a new favorite song. I love
Yeah,
that. I
exactly.
love that.
I like exactly.
All right. So what's for dinner? What's for dinner?
You know what? That's a good question. I want to know what's for dinner as well. You understand? I actually have pilau. I've been talking
That's
about
a
today.
good start.
I'm
Now you're
gonna
gonna
have
make me
some pilau
hungry.
tonight. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
now
leftover, but
you're gonna make me hungry.
tastes better like
Well,
that. Yeah.
thank you so much. I know you're doing your runs, you're doing your performances, and
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to the response that everyone is going to love your album and love what you guys have put together for us. But any last words? What do you want the people to know about this album
I say, just
besides
stay
go get it?
free. Nah, stay free, everybody. Open your mind, open your hearts, and continue to love each other. Continue to appreciate and love each other, and that we are really powerful as a human race together. And in this world of division, fight that with love, and enjoy this album. May it connect worlds for you. May it make
Yes.
you explore some new spaces.
Absolutely. All right, my peoples. Meds upon the new album by Kes, Man with No Doors. It is out on March 29th. So make sure you guys stream it, download it, watch all the videos, follow on social. I'll be sure to link everything. Kes, thank you so much. Please also give my respects to the band, the brothers, the family as well. And have a great evening.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for listening to the latest episode of the Style and Vibes podcast. If you like what you hear, and I know you do, share it with your friends and family. If you want more, make sure you visit styleandvibes.com and follow us on our social channels, Twitter and Instagram at Style and Vibes. Until next time, Leah Tommy Peeps.